Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only
It's the one and only queen of receipts, the dropping gems in these YouTube streets, the lawyer Royce, nowhere to go. Tune in for the infamous morning show, giving the news that you need to know. So don't you dare miss a wake-up call. Then in the evening, I got all for y'all. Get your dose of daily vitamins. You know the queen makes it make sense. So true. Sex game, my kick, the words, my baby. Can't even only be money saves. It's like an earthquake, don't calling you out. Queen of constant, just get it from the bound. Such an awesome place, just a more for all.
All right. Hello, everyone. Grand Rising. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, and as per usual, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Okay, so hello, Broken Silence. Claudette is in the house. Samantha, 504 Nola. Troy is here. All right, let's get into it. Exact. And I love that news intro. Thank you. All right, Samantha, Nessie X. Okay, so let's get into it. Everyone, please hit that like button. It doesn't cost you a single thing. Hey, Serena, most bronze flat power God. Okay, Ara Kimball is in the house. Let's get into it. Shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. And shout out to my moderators for putting in work. Okay, if they ever get here. All right, Destination Unknown said, Queen, you're looking stunning today. Thank you, beloved. Hey, OG Patrice. All right, so let's get into it.
Honey, Drake has cooked up a whole bunch of problems for himself. Okay, that's what he has done. Now, I told you all last week when I was talking about it, with him filing that or threatening to file the lawsuit against UMG, already having filed 2 petitions, one for defamation, okay, saying that because Kendrick called him a PDF file and all of that, he was going to sue, and accusing UMG of using payola to boost Kendrick's streams, all right, and all of that. Well, I told you guys, who does he think he is? Diddy, going against the elite. And now look what's going on with him. So we're going to get into it. Now, first of all, let's just go back and revisit last week for those of you who missed it, because they came out with an article talking about the real reason Drake is suing about Kendrick's song. Well, we already know what the real reason is, because he's a hater who can't take his L, okay, who's just refusing to admit that he lost. And also, like I told you guys, I think that this has everything to do with the fact that Kendrick was chosen to perform at the Super Bowl halftime rather than Lil Wayne, okay, Drake's ace boo. Now, with that all being said, they say the legal filing Drake submitted is considered a pre-action under state law, which calls for a probe prior to a full suit being filed. So he's basically saying he wants further investigations. Now, the first-person shooter performer, whose full name is Aubrey Drake Graham, claimed UMG made covert payments to organizations, including radio stations, to play and plug the diss track aimed at him. I mean, why would they do that? He's their own artist. Does that even make sense? He's their cash cow, quite frankly. Now, Drake said in legal docs that UMG has a checkered past in regards to payola, also referred to as pay for play. Now, I told you that's interesting, because if they have a checkered past of doing this, well, is that how he got his claim to fame? Is that how he got to be on top? Because did they use that for him? I mean, if they've been using that, and I don't know that they have. But if they have been using it, I'm sure they likely used it for him. Now, that's just my opinion. So his legal team said in court docs that UMG conspired with and paid currently unknown parties to use bots to artificially inflate the spread of Not Like Us and deceive consumers into believing the song was more popular than it was in reality. Drake said that an insider told him that UMG executives also authorized the spending of funds on robots to boost Not Like Us at Spotify totals garnering 30 million streams. So he said an insider told him. Okay, sure, Drake. Now, the rapper also named Spotify in the legal filing. Okay, according to the filing, UMG brass also paid influencers to push the single and allegedly ignored enforcing copyright requirements via social media in an effort to make the track go viral. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Make that make sense. Because I thought he did the same thing. I thought Drake and Kendrick removed the copyright from their songs, from their diss tracks, so that we all could use them. And if, in fact, that was done, what's the problem? What's the problem? Okay. Now he's just sitting here crying over spilled milk. Now, the Family Matters vocalist, whose own music is distributed via UMG, said that one goal in filing the lawsuit was to audit the label in their alleged payments to iHeartRadio and its affiliates. Drake told the court that details in regards to that issue could be the foundation of a civil fraud and racketeering suit against UMG and their collaborators. He said the fact that he can already prove could support a defamation lawsuit against UMG. Now, see, this is real crazy, okay? I don't know where Drake goes from here, but it looks like he's going downhill on a steady roll, okay? Please pay attention. Okay, somebody said, oh, he is messy. Yes, he is. I told you guys he's a whole Karen. And now look where it's landed him. Because now the young man, Dedrick Williams, one of the 3 people accused of murdering XXXTentacion, has pointed the finger at Drake. Now, we've heard Drake's name in this before as it pertained to the death of XXXTentacion, but the bottom line is now this young man's filing for an appeal brief, and in it, he mentions Drake. And I find it all interesting. Okay, so let me just go briefly to the TikTok that I did about this last night. I started to come on here last night, but y'all know I had to get my rest. I had to get my rest, beloveds. It's only so much I can do. Like Cat Williams said about Tyler Perry, it's only so much he can do. All right? And so anyway, honey, Drake is nefarious as far as I'm concerned. Just can't take that L, and now look at here. He's in hot water. Because now his name's been called in the whole murder case, okay? Is this going to be the downfall of Drake like it was Diddy when he sued Diageo? I have several questions, but see, I told you guys this was coming. Just remember you heard it here first. Okay, here we go.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Ahmadiyyah Shakur. It looks like Drake's been worried about the wrong thing. You see, while he's sitting here threatening to sue UMG over Kendrick's song Not Like Us and just refusing to take his L gracefully, now his name's been brought up again in the deletion of XXXTentacion. So let's get into it. Dedrick Williams, one of the 3 men convicted of the red rum of X, is now filing an appeals brief. And in it, his attorney, Mauricio Padilla, mentions Drake and the ongoing feud that he had with X. Please pay attention. Now, Williams' attorney is alleging that the judge was not fair, didn't allow in certain evidence that pointed the finger at Drake, or at least may have given the jury cause to have reasonable doubt. Basically talking about how some of the people that were related to Drake or who hung around him basically were in X's own neighborhood and had been harassing him either the day of or days prior to his death. Then he says that there was a subpoena that was sent to Drake and basically his people didn't want to accept it and the judge just quashed it. So he feels like the trial was unfair and that at the very least he should be given another trial. Please pay attention. Williams' attorney also alleges that Drake was seen throwing up gang signs and was clearly affiliated with gangs. And also he talks about some of the questionable song lyrics. For example, the song Triple X, where Drake says, Triple X, that's the only time I pew pew below the neck. Then another song titled I'm Upset, where he says something about exchanging Louis bags for body bags, clearly referencing red rum. And not to mention that the day that X was robbed and deleted, he was carrying his money in a Louis bag. Please pay attention. Now, mind you, none of this evidence was allowed to be heard during the trial, which is one of the reasons that Williams' attorney says that it was unconstitutional, that the judge basically, wouldn't let them admit any evidence that was against Drake and even asked him, according to the attorney, asked him basically, why are you bringing him into this? As if Drake was too good to be brought into it. And it's clearly because of his celebrity status, in my opinion. Now, of course, the attorney didn't want to just come out and say that, but he said everyone can draw their own conclusions. Please pay attention. Now, Dr. De La Cruz is the gang expert that they brought in to give this information about the song lyrics, Drake being affiliated with gangs and holding up the gang signs and all of that. But all of that was stricken from the record. None of that was allowed to be seen and brought before the jury as evidence. And in fact, the state was allowed to bring in their own gang expert, which to me, that seems, prejudicial as far as I'm concerned. Williams' attorney also alleges that during the entirety of the trial, anytime he brought up something to question Drake or the possibility that Drake was involved somehow, the prosecution would object to that and the judge would sustain it. So none of it was ever allowed. Okay, this is all real interesting. Now, just from the evidence that I've looked over thus far, it does seem, in my opinion, that Dedrick Williams has the grounds for likely a new trial. But also, it's interesting that Drake was running to the courts, or threatening to run to the courts, and now he's being brought up in a whole red rum case. Okay, please pay attention. This is what I call instant karma.
So clearly nefarious. All right, please pay attention. Now, 20-year-old XXXTentacion was shot and killed outside a motorcycle dealership in Deerfield Beach, Florida on June the 18th of 2018. Williams, Michael Boatwright, and Trayvon Newsom were all arrested and charged with first-degree murder and armed robbery. Now, the robbery, which involved the theft of $50,000 in cash, was captured on CCTV and presented as evidence at trial. In March of 2023, all 3 men were convicted and sentenced to life in prison. Now, Padilla, that's the attorney, also referred to a conversation from 2018 between DJ Academics and XXXTentacion, during which Academics allegedly warned Onfroy about his ongoing feud with Drake. According to Padilla, Academics cautioned Onfroy, and that's Onfroy is X, that's his real name, Jose Onfroy. Okay, he cautioned him that while he wasn't a gangster, saying Drake's not a gangster, he might provoke a dangerous reaction from Drake. Now, this, Padilla argued, added context to the rapper's statements about Drake in his now deleted Instagram post. Onfroy had written saying, if anyone tries to kill me, it was at Champagne Poppy. Okay, so let's go to what some of the a clip from what, in fact, Mauricio Padilla Williams's attorney what he had to say. Now, mind you, this was his trial attorney. This is not the same attorney that's filing the appeal brief for him, that filed it for him. This is another attorney, but this is the one that was arguing for him in court and trying to show that Drake, at best should have been at least a person of interest, or he was trying to cause reasonable doubt in the minds of the jurors. But he said much of what he was trying to do wasn't even allowed.
Well, I am not arguing it. I'm not his appellate attorney. I was the trial counsel. So I'm just referencing what Mr. Patanzo, which is his appellate attorney, has stated in the brief. There is so many errors that it takes a while to even break it down. One of the main errors in my opinion in the case, which I had to sit through, argue, and live it, was the fact that in December of 2020, I filed a witness list. The state's reaction to that was to file a motion saying, we want the court to strike all of his witnesses, that's not even something that's legal or that you could do. You have to itemize who you want stricken. You just can't shotgun approach and say, I want all of his defense witnesses stricken. But the state attorney did that. In a hearing that I had to defend, myself to that in that motion, the court didn't grant that, but the court instructed me to file a pleading, which was the nexus in my defense witnesses and what nexus they had to my theory of defense, which I argued was inappropriate because at the end of the day, you're ordering me to give the state a blueprint of what my defense is going to be. But I was ordered to do it, and I did it. When prior to Mr. Onfroy, which I'll refer to him as X for this interview because his stage name was XXXTentacion, which was the victim in this case. Prior to him being murdered, he had posted on Instagram, if anybody kills me, I'm snitching right now, it's Champagne Poppy. I'm paraphrasing, but something to that effect, right? So imagine the decedent said prior to his death, if anybody kills me, it's Champagne Poppy, which is Drake's Instagram name. I laid out in extreme detail all of my defense witnesses list, which included many rappers, because at the end of the day, the victim in this case was a rapper. He had feuds, ongoing public feuds with not only Drake, but a lot of rappers that are either signed to OVO or related to Drake in some way, including 600 Breezy, which is a Chicago-based rapper, and a rapper that's from Toronto by the name of, he goes by Top 5, which is Hassan Ali. And I had to lay that all out in detail. The court was fully aware of my theory of defense. Prior to that, I filed a motion to perpetuate the testimony of Livingston Allen, which goes by the name of DJ Academics, because DJ Academics was friends with X and had posted long YouTube, content regarding this beef. He actually posted a YouTube saying that he was on the phone with X discussing the issue and the beef that he had with Drake, and specifically X had either said or posted something about Drake's mom, and he had posted a picture of a Drake lookalike with semen on his face, and he wanted DJ Academics to post it on his own site. And he said, I'm not going to do that. And in that conversation, DJ Academic says that you better be careful because even though, and I'm paraphrasing again, even though he's not a gangster, you may be pushing him. As a reaction to that conversation, X goes and says that he takes it out off the post off of his website or off of IG, and he says that his Instagram was hacked. I laid that out in my motion to perpetuate the testimony, which a motion to perpetuate testimony is when you have a witness that is relevant to your defense and that lives beyond the jurisdictional limits of the court, and that you feel that you're not going to be able to bring them into court. So I'm basically asking the court to allow me to go to California or wherever I have to go, depose this individual, and now with his deposition, if he doesn't show up, I could use it in my defense or in my case in chief, right? So I did that. Argued it to the court, and the court, in a reaction, basically said, I'm not going to grant your motion to perpetuate testimony. Just take his depo. Let's just take it. So, okay, fine. I set a notice of hearing, went and served Drake in his castle in Beverly Hills.
There's something that you mentioned, and I want to talk about this. So first of all, there was this deposition that was taken of XXXTentacion's mother, Cleopatra Bernard. She testified that Onfroy had this ongoing feud with Mr. Graham, Aubrey Graham, Drake. She said this feud with Graham included throwing shots at Onfroy and lyrics from one of Graham's songs. You mentioned that controversial statement that he made, if anyone tries to kill me, it was champagne poppy. The question I want to start with as we get into the Drake conversation, were you arguing, or his appellate attorneys arguing that Drake was a part of this killing, that he was the one who did this, or are you arguing that it should have just been allowed, you should have been allowed to present evidence to suggest there were other potential leads that law enforcement really didn't look at into this case? So again, what are exactly we suggesting? Are you suggesting that Drake had a part in it, or that just it wasn't looked into and it shows a sloppy investigation and not a fair trial?
Well, in the brief and in what I was arguing in court is the latter. We are a defendant has every right to defend himself and to show reasonable doubt wherever it may be, and to fully investigate and articulate to a jury an alternate shooter defense, or an alternate, a defense where someone else, committed this crime. Am I going to sit here and tell you that Drake was holding a gun or Drake? But the facts as they are stated by X's own mother is that she knew about the beef with Drake and with Migos. She knew about the violence between Migos and her son, where there was a violent episode. She knew about 600 Breezy, which is a known admitted gang member from Chicago, going to South Florida and posting on social media saying that he's blicked up, which means that I have a gun, and she was concerned about it. She testified in the depot that she discussed it with her son. She testified that the reason that she wanted additional security with him the day he died was because of this beef with Migos and everything that we're discussing. So it was relevant, and for many months during the trial, January, February, even February 7th of 2023, the judge is agreeing with me. Okay, now there comes a moment and a hearing. He goes ahead and Drake hires, after the judge enters a rule to show cause, basically saying a purge date. You have to appear for depo on this day, or I'm going to do a writ of bodily attachment. He then goes and hires Brad Cohen, a friend of the show, friend of mine as well, an excellent attorney. And Brad files several motion to quash the subpoena, and he files a motion for protective order.
Okay, so Drake didn't want to come to court. Okay, he didn't want to come to court and have to speak on it. So that's basically what happened with the subpoena. But now he's been brought right back into it. Drake brought back into XXXTentacion murder case following new appeal. Dedrick Williams implicates Drake in XXXTentacion's murder case with this new appeal, citing an Instagram feud. Now, Drake has been re-linked to the 2018 murder of the rapper after Dedrick, one of the men convicted in the case, named the rapper as a possible suspect in the appeal filed in November. Williams is one of 3 defendants accused of the robbery and shooting of X, whose real name is Jose Dwayne Onfroy. The new appeal filed by Williams' defense attorney, Mauricio Padilla, was discussed in an interview with Law and Crime Network on November the 30th. Padilla referred to an Instagram post made by XXXTentacion shortly before his death, which allegedly stated that if he were to be killed, it would be by Champagne Poppy, Drake's well-known Instagram handle. Now, Padilla paraphrased the post, as you all just heard. Okay, he further went on to explain that X had a history of public feuds, not only with Drake, but with several other rappers connected to Drake's OVO label. The defense attorney highlighted that several of his clients, their defense witnesses, including other rappers, could testify to the tensions between the two men. So with that all being said, let's go to a clip from the court case. Lights up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you.
Before X died, he said, if anybody kills me, it's Drake. And do you think that for one moment, here today, days after the event, he's killed by 2 masked men, right? He came out on social media and said, guys, before he dies, if anybody kills me, it's Drake. Do you think in that time span that they went and they addressed him, they talked to him? No. Do you think sitting here today, years later, any detective has ever asked, you know, Drake or anybody like that? No, they never did that. So you ask yourself, how could that be? If any of us is involved in, you know, God forbid, in a murder, and you say, hey, it's so-and-so, you better believe so-and-so is going to get investigated. But in this case, they didn't do it. They didn't do it because it didn't comport with their version and their narrative. And as law enforcement, I think that they have the obligation to do so. Another issue. Before, and the evidence will show that before Mr. Onfroy was killed, there was an individual by the name of Antonio King, aka 600 Breezy, that posted on YouTube saying, when I get off of probation, I'm going. Like I was saying, this individual, Antonio King, 600 Breezy, literally came here to Florida and took videos by Mr. Osborne's house, threatening him. Okay? Fast forward, he's shot by 2 masked men. Do you think BSO ever investigated this? Do you think anyone in Broward County ever, you know, went to ask him any questions? To this day, years later, that's never happened. So ask yourself, why? Why would they not investigate it? Because it doesn't comport to the narrative that they want. And that's going to be a motif in this case. You're going to see that it's consistently the same issue. It's not what they want to hear. It's not what they want to hear. So they don't investigate it. And they have an obligation to.
Okay, and that's absolutely true. You know, the police have a habit of doing that in many cases that I have researched and seen on crime shows and all of that. The police sometimes have a habit of doing these things, basically where it's called tunnel vision. They get it in their mind that a certain person or parties have committed a crime, and those are the only people or the only person that they look into. They don't really go and investigate the other avenues because they've got it in their heads that, hey, this is who did it. We've got the guy right here. But what the thing is, everything isn't always as it appears. Everything isn't always what it seems. Sometimes you have to think outside the box and examine other options. Okay, because that's why, in my opinion, there's people in prison right now for things they absolutely didn't do. Now, I'm not saying these young men didn't do what they were convicted of, but what I'm saying is there should have been other people investigated who had good reasons, okay, good motives to do something to X. Okay, but let's continue.
Every time open a sex gate, my kick and words my faith that can't even on keeping money safe. It's like an earthquake, I'm calling you out. Create a constant, just get it from the ground. Such a nice place, just a more for all.
How much money did Drake give you?
Ooh.
When you were asked about by Mr. Padilla, how much money did Drake give you? And you said none, correct?
Yes.
Do you even know Drake?
Not personally, no.
Okay. Personally or otherwise, through even middle people?
No.
You know anybody in Toronto?
No.
Do you know any of the names like Slump God or DJ Ahmadiyyah or any of those names?
No.
Did anybody connected with Drake that you're aware of hire you to do the crime of killing and robbing the victim on June 18, 2018?
No.
How about Mr. Boatwright? Did anybody connected with Drake?
Okay, so there you have it. Now let's go to this video of X talking about Drake and the feud that they were having. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. I saw someone put in the chat that Biden pardoned Hunter. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. I have his statement and everything. That's actually in the title. We're going to definitely talk about that because Biden clearly lied. Okay, please pay attention.
The nigga tried to sacrifice me. Because look at it this way. I'm in jail. I had a PBL charge. I'm facing life. Now, that's what nobody realized. I was facing life. I'm facing life, which was one of my favorite rappers. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody loved Drake, bro. Everybody loved Drake. I still respect the nigga for his music. You know what I'm saying? I just can't respect what he did to me. You feel me? Listen to, no, actually, fuck that. It was my dog, Chris. I was on the phone with my dog, Chris. He was like, yo, you gotta listen to this shit. This nigga Drake a fuck nigga. That's exactly what he said. Like, this nigga Drake a fuck nigga. You gotta listen to this shit. So he plays this shit. I hear da-da-da-da-da my dad. I'm like, what the fuck? As soon as it started, like I knew what he was getting at. And the funny thing is, we didn't discover it. The fan, like you said, the fans, because they're so cold. It's like, I got a piece of the internet. You feel me?
So they will say.
Okay. Excuse me. So, with that all being said, yeah, Drake was out here taking the man's whole flow and all of that. Okay. You know, Drake is in fact the colonizer, just like Kendrick called him. Okay. Where'd he learn that from? Well, likely his ancestors. Okay. Please pay attention. All right. Please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, let's go to the next video. Before I do, let's have a word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, don't forget, excuse me, don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes for your hair at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. And you can also find it at Walmart.com.
Wow. That's how you feel?
Anybody that tries to target me and write negative about me, you are only going to curse yourself. Watch and see. Basically, to participate, the one that wins is the one who documents and helps the most, not only homeless, but the most people in need. It can be any form of person in need. Currently, I'm in a huge state of paranoia. About being hacked, I want to issue an apology right now to Drake. That shit was not real. I'm not trying to make any more enemies. I don't want to... The nigga tried to sacrifice me.
Drake beef added to it.
Oh, wow. That's how y'all feel? That's how y'all feel? Fuck Drake? Hard.
I apologize for being so distant. I've been paranoid. I've been needing help, and I haven't been getting the ideal help I really want. So,
is any of these other artists that you've had an issue with, or fallen out with, or whatever, that you would want to extend that olive branch to as well?
Drake. Like, you have these people that arise and come out of nowhere, and our teachers, and our people that are supposed to lead and push people in the right direction with energy.
You
These
feel
are
like
the people
you're a teacher and a leader?
of the youth, yes. The power, I am my own power. That's what people got to realize. You can't abuse my power. It is going to backfire. You use my energy, and you think you're going to disrespect me in the process, and it will destroy you. It may take a little while, but it will destroy you. It will destroy you. Because my supporters and family are much, much, much different from everyone else's supporters and and what they call them fans. They're much different, so you get a very, very different response. Listen, take advantage of time. It's not always in your favor. Take advantage of time. And in specific, thank you, Kendrick Lamar. I didn't wanna say anything to make him subject to any negative energy whatsoever, because people find some weird way to do that. But thank you again, and I appreciate you, and many blessings to you and your.
Now, where do you guys stand? Like, what's good now?
I still think Drake a fuck nigga. As a man, no, I'm keeping a blood raw. I still think Drake a fuck nigga. Like, I think he's not a man. I think he's a bitch. That's a bitch move. Especially when I was in jail facing life, bro. You know what I'm saying? If Drake would have came to my barn hearing, you know what I'm saying, that would have made my fucking day. If he would have showed that he's a hospitable person and that he's really in this shit for the culture, rather than being a fuck nigga taking my shit, running off with it, and then putting it on his album, then he would have got my kudos, he would have got my respect. I would have let him hop on the remix, take 100% royalty rate. I would have done it. Because I know I can maintain, you know what I'm saying, and I would have appreciated him for being a real nigga. But Drake not a real nigga.
Oh, well, you all heard that. Hold on, let me get this off the screen. So another thing is, it was reported in 2023 that Drake tried to get out of the deposition. Hold on. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, here's what it says. This was reported by TMZ, February of 2023. Drake trying to set aside deposition request, files a motion to get out of it. He didn't want anything to do with this case. Okay, so he was trying to put the kibosh on getting deposed in the XXXTentacion murder trial, and he's making some legal moves to try to get out of it. Now, the rapper filed a motion through his attorney, Bradford Cohen, asking the judge to set aside the subpoena, requiring him to sit for a private deposition in late February. Now, as we reported, the judge was persuaded by arguments made by defense attorney Mauricio Padilla to call Drake as a witness in the case. Padilla represents Dedrick Williams, one of 3 defendants charged in the killing of XXX. Now, the murder trial for the 3 men began last week. Now, according to the docs obtained by TMZ, Padilla sent Drake a Zoom link for the deposition without putting it under seal, which could have compromised Drake's security, given that he's an international star. Several days later, the docs say Padilla filed a notice with the court, but failed to include details on how the Zoom interview with Drake would be conducted. As a result, Drake says the subpoena was procedurally defective. So, per the motion, Drake also claims that his name never appeared in the investigative files, and there's nothing to suggest he has any relevant knowledge about the case. He believes it's unreasonable to ask him to sit for a deposition, and says doing so is just an attempt to add more layers of celebrity and notoriety to a tragic and unfortunate event. The judge has yet to make a final ruling on Drake's motion. Well, clearly Drake didn't have to go and talk to them. So, but here's the thing. Now, Drake wants to sit there and pretend that he has no clue as to why anyone would want to, talk to him about this case, when he literally talked about it in his lyrics. Okay, talking about exchanging Louis bags for body bags. Okay, please make that make sense. All right. And then basically talking about in that song Triple X. Yeah, Triple X. That's the only time I shoot below the neck. And so, I find it all interesting. Now, they can put Young Thug and people like him in jail. They can charge them based off of song lyrics, but not Drake. Yeah, I find it all interesting. Now, I'm not saying that Drake did anything to X, but I do think that he had something to do with what went on behind the scenes. Maybe he offered these guys something, I don't know. But at the end of the day, I think it definitely is worth investigating, that he definitely should have been a person of interest, and that he should have been thoroughly looked into and spoken to and all of that. Okay? At the end of the day, I mean, Padilla says that the judge asked him at one point, why are you bringing him into this? As if they shouldn't even be looking in Drake's direction. Okay, which I find to be problematic, seeing as how there's so many things that's going on. And because of what X said days prior to his death, that if somebody took him out, Champagne Poppy did it. So he had reason to suspect that Drake was going to do something to him, apparently, not to mention the ongoing feud. Okay, other things that were said and posted on social media. I mean, to me, it was just too many arrows pointing to Drake having at least some sort of involvement in it, that it should have absolutely been looked into. And I think that it wasn't further investigated because Drake has all these connections. Okay, just like Diddy had all these connections, and Diddy had been accused of a myriad of things for decades. And now, when he goes against the grain and comes for the elite, this is what happens. And Drake, by the way, was threatening to sue the elites. Okay, who's the head of UMG? Lucian Grange, one of the same people that was dealing with Diddy. So I find it all very interesting. And I told you guys that is Drake trying to be the next Diddy? Because that's what it looks like he was thinking, or wasn't thinking, shall I say, when he threatened to file the lawsuit. Okay, and accusing them, making all these accusatory statements and everything. Queen Lena Star says Lil Wayne warned him of trying to be a gangster. Yeah, okay. But you know, the thing is, Drake has a big ego. And so that wasn't going to work. That was not going to work at all. But before we get into Hunter Biden, let's talk about Diddy. Let's talk about Diddy because we're going to see how it all turns out for Drake. I'm going to be staying tuned, you know, to see what's going to happen with this young man's appeal. Okay, because his attorney has said that he deserves a new trial. And, you know, if there was possibly some exculpatory evidence, if there were some people that should have been looked into that weren't, if there were things that were not allowed and all of that, well, he may need a new trial. Maybe he deserves one. Okay. So anyway, whether we think he did it or not, because at the end of the day, you know, the court has to give you a right to due process, okay? Not just pick and choose and all of that. Okay, so now let's talk about Diddy, because they say that Sean Diddy Combs' son, King, was flaunting his pre-Thanksgiving food after his dad's prison meal was revealed. This is all so ridiculous, okay? Eating like a king, they say. Sean Diddy Combs' son, King Combs, showed off his luxe pre-Thanksgiving meal via his Instagram story on Wednesday, shortly after his dad's holiday meal in prison was shown. Oh man, eating good. This is what he says, okay? He gushed, bragging about his plate of crab legs and the camera clarity on his new iPhone. He tagged his location as Atlanta and wrote pre-Thanksgiving atop the video. In contrast, Diddy, who was locked up in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York, ever since his September arrest, will be spending the holiday in his jail cell, where he clearly belongs. Okay, please pay attention. And he and his fellow inmates will be served 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on whole wheat bread, fruit, and potato chips for dinner. Sorry, I know I already told you guys this, what they were going to feed Diddy for Thanksgiving, but I just had to say it again. Latasha said, "You look beautiful, Queen." Thank you, beloved. I appreciate your kind words. First of all, that is just adding insult to injury. Peanut butter and jelly with fruit and chips for Thanksgiving. I mean, but they did give him a turkey sandwich for lunch, I do believe. And so anyway, this is all so sad. Now look what this fool posted. First of all, this does not even look good. The inkwell said sounds passive aggressive to me. Okay. Anita said he wants to sue, but not the person to be sued. Look at this, y'all. Look what King posted. Did he really think everybody was going to be hating on this? Look at it. Those dry arse crab legs, they're not even seasoned on the outside, okay? I'm sorry, what was he thinking? But anyway, I guess he was just showing off. So anyway, let's continue. Now, he shared a picture of his seafood meal shown above after his dad's Thanksgiving menu was revealed. However, according to the menu, Diddy will be treated to a Thanksgiving-style lunch consisting of turkey roast with gravy, mashed potatoes, mixed vegetables, cranberry sauce, and rolls earlier in the day. Now, that's what he had for lunch. That sounds more like it, but I'm pretty sure that turkey probably tasted like wood, okay? While the Bad Boy Records founder will eat a holiday meal, King is getting something the last night hitmaker lost the privilege of 2 months ago, time with his family. On Thanksgiving morning, King shared a video of himself holding his nearly 2.5-year-old sister, Love. In the sweet clip, he held her up as if she was instructed to kiss him on the cheek and say Merry Christmas. Not as if she was instructed. I bet Diddy's probably saying, after all I've done for you ninjas. Claudette said, not wood. Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure prison chicken and turkey would likely taste like wood. I mean, that's just how I imagine it to taste. But look at this. Y'all know Diddy used to have this little called Diddy Giving. Y'all see that? Where him in Miami, young Miami, they would pass out plates to the homeless or the underprivileged and stuff. Look at him holding up his turkey. Won't be holding up a turkey this Thanksgiving, honey. He was holding up PB&J. Okay, holding up PB&J. Diddy, that's what happens when you do dirt. Look at him in Young Miami. Look at all lovey-dovey, passing out plates and all that. But too bad now Young Miami has skipped out on him because according to reports, she just might have her a new boo. Let's talk about it. Young Miami sparks dating rumors with NFL Stephon Diggs after Sean Diddy Combs is split. Miami said it's time to move on, honey. Diddy is not ever getting out from the looks of it. So he's an ex for a reason. Young Miami sparked dating rumors with NFL star Stephon Diggs after the split from Sean Diddy Combs following his trafficking arrest. Now, over the weekend, the Houston Texans player and the City Girls rapper were seen celebrating his 31st birthday at Carbone in Miami. Well, Young Miami looks very nice on this picture. Trisha said he is a turkey. Be the Difference Clothing said not a season in sight. Look at Young Miami. She looks lovely. But let's continue. So anyway, with that all being said, so here's the guy they're talking about, Stephon Diggs. That's him right there. I guess Young Miami said it's only so long a girl can wait. And so anyway, Miami-born Carisha Brown was photographed exiting the celebrity hotspot with a drink in her hand while the paparazzi caught Diggs attempting to keep a low profile outside the restaurant. Now, the Shade Room also obtained a screenshot of the Act Bad rapper's now deleted Instagram story, which featured the number 31 metallic foil fringe and a neon sign that read, "Happy Birthday." And this was reported by Page 6. Okay, now in September, Miami also attended a Texans home game at the NRG Stadium in Houston, and she was recently seen wearing a pair of Diggs' custom signature ASICS sneakers. Now, Page 6 has reached out to reps for both Diggs and Miami, but did not immediately hear back. Okay, well, good for her, honey, because I mean, hey, the Diddy's already gone down. I mean, why sit there and go down with him if you can help yourself? Okay, but Fonda Duba said closer to her age, still a simp. Oh, terrible. Okay, Sunset said, ain't that the one just tried to take it? Ain't he the one just tried to take it from a man? I don't know, honey. Trisha said, Diddy, how does it feel to have your girl take it? Okay, and so anyway, now with that all being said, lights up, everyone please like and share. Now let's talk about Biden. Because Biden sat up there and told us all this bold-faced lie. Now, I knew it was lying. I know y'all probably did too. But Biden sat up there and told us all that he wasn't going to pardon Hunter. Didn't he say that? Oh, I'm not going to pardon my son Hunter. I would never. Biden couldn't wait. Now he comes up with a bogus excuse as to why he did it. And I want you all to pay attention, honey. Okay? Because these crooked politicians need to all sit down somewhere. Okay? And I find it all interesting that he wants to pardon Hunter, okay, who should be in jail. He should absolutely be in jail. How many crimes has he committed that we don't even know about? I'm sure there's more than a few. That's my opinion. And let's not forget about that bag that was found in the White House with that little nose candy in there. Now, wasn't that Biden's, Hunter Biden's, that is? I'm pretty sure it was. Okay, that's my opinion. But just look at him. Those dirty fingernails. Okay, just look at him. And you know, there's pictures, which I'm not going to show, but there's pictures of him laid up there with a whole crack pipe in his mouth. Okay? I'm sorry, make it all make sense, Biden. But let's talk about this statement that Biden wrote up. Okay, I mean, he wrote up a whole statement trying to tell us this BS. Okay, I'm going to share my screen right quick so y'all can see the foolishness. Biden is a whole mess. Sitting up there and lied to the American public, but that wasn't the first time. Y'all see that? Had the nerve to issue a statement as if that's going to make it all better. Biden, we still looking at you with a whole side eye. All right, so here's what it says. And I want you all to pay attention to how he tries to make it sound so forlorn. And, just like Hunter is the victim. This is also hilarious to me. He wants to act like his son is a whole victim, of people just being malicious. But wasn't he, in fact, on crack? And didn't you, Biden, sign the 1986 Drug Abuse Act and also authored, later signed by Bill Clinton, the 1994 crime bill that led to the mass incarceration of people who look like me? But I digress. Today I signed a pardon for my son Hunter. From the day I took office, I said, I want y'all to pay attention. Hold on. Are y'all listening to this BS? Hold on, let me read some of these comments. Mr. President, it's time to go to Shady Pines. Queen already paid for your suite. You know I did. Okay, I told y'all. That guy McFly says Biden been lying, wasn't supposed to run for a second term either. Exactly. Southwest Houston, Texas says once they revealed Trump wasn't facing any legal consequences after 32 convictions, he probably didn't care and felt he had nothing to lose since he won't be running again. Well, here's the thing. Even if Trump had gotten, gone to jail for those convictions, Biden was never going to let Hunter take the fall. Okay, that's what he wasn't going to do. He was always going to pardon Hunter. He just flat out lied. That's what he did. I mean, come on, let's just pay attention. Okay, so that all been said, let me put on my little do I have any violin music? Because I feel a sad story coming on. Okay, I got a sad piano or a violin. Okay, y'all. Now let's okay, here we go. Today, I signed a pardon for my son Hunter. From the day I took office, I said I would not interfere with the Justice Department's decision making, and I kept my word, even as I watched my own son being selectively and unfairly prosecuted. Without aggravating factors like used in a crime, multiple purchases, or buying a weapon as a straw purchaser, people are almost never brought to trial on felony charges solely for how they filled out a gun form. Those who were late paying their taxes should be because of serious addictions, but paid them back subsequently with interest and penalties, are typically given non-criminal resolutions. It's clear that Hunter was treated differently. Please sit down somewhere, Biden. You hear the sad story? The charges in his case came about only after several of my political opponents in Congress instigated them to attack me and oppose my election. Then a carefully negotiated plea deal agreed to by the Department of Justice unraveled in the courtroom, with a number of my political opponents in Congress taking credit for bringing political pressure on the process. Had the plea deal held, it would have been a fair, reasonable resolution of Hunter's cases. No reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out only because he's my son, and that is wrong. There has been an effort to break Hunter, who has been 5.5 years sober, even in the face of unrelenting attacks and selective prosecution. In trying to break Hunter, they've tried to break me, and there's no reason to believe it will stop here. Enough is enough. For my entire career, I have followed a simple principle. Just tell the American people the truth. Is he serious right now? But let's continue. They'll be fair-minded. Here's the truth. I believe in the justice system, but as I've wrestled with this, I also believe raw politics has infected this process, and it led to a miscarriage of justice. And once I made this decision this weekend, there was no sense in delaying it any further. I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president would come to this decision. Biden, please sit down somewhere, okay? Please sit down somewhere, okay? Are y'all hearing this? Not only did he lie and go ahead and pardon him anyway, but he gave us a sad sob story to boot. Okay? Pretty Wing said he needs to pardon everyone convicted under that crime bill. Oh, yes. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, the non-violent convictions at least. Anyway, honey, I am not surprised. TC Dan said it's the lying part for me. For me, too. Okay, Ebony I said Joe Biden has been lying since he said he wouldn't mandate the needle. He's a liar and always been a liar. Yes, he absolutely is. He absolutely is. Sandra said Hunter will sacrifice Sleepy Joe without blinking twice. Okay. I find it all very interesting. But like I said, I'm not surprised at all because I knew he was lying when he said it. Didn't y'all know he was lying? I knew he was. I felt it in my spirit. I said, yeah, right. Okay. You think if he has the chance to pardon his own son, of course he's going to do it. This don't have anything to do with Trump. Biden was going to pardon that dude in the first place. And that statement that I just read was probably written months in advance. Okay. Please pay attention. Probably written months in advance. Now, it's also interesting. Because here's the thing. If he was going to pardon him, why didn't he just say that in the first place? Why sit up there and even lie and act as though he wasn't going to do so? Because I don't know why liars lie. Now, please pay attention.
Manhattan DA witch hunt against me has been postponed because everyone realizes that there was no case because I did nothing wrong. It's a witch hunt. It's an attack by.
And here's another little liar, okay? Trump, sit down somewhere talking about a witch hunt.
My political opponents in Washington, D.C.
Former President Trump lashing out at Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg and Washington Democrats after Judge Juan Merchan postponed his sentencing in the case until after the presidential election. Here to react, George Washington University law professor and Fox News contributor Jonathan Turley. Professor, great to have you with us this morning. You know,
thank you, Will.
I think everyone has acknowledged, most objective, rational people have acknowledged the weakness of the initial conviction of Donald Trump. And then that was confirmed somewhat with the Supreme Court saying he has presidential immunity on so many aspects that would have ended up undermining the New York conviction. But do you think Judge Merchan, Professor, who I think...
Now, Southwest Houston, Texas, that is a very good point. Said Biden was most likely was expecting Kamala to pardon him, but she didn't win. Exactly. There you have it. That was the plan right there. It makes a whole lot of sense to me. Okay, please pay attention.
Fairly obstinate in not worrying about the law and pursuing what looks like a political case. Do you think he was impacted by the political fallout should he have sentenced Donald Trump?
Well, I think so. He might actually have been sort of subconsciously or consciously aware that if he hit Trump with a jail sentence, he very well could have reelected him. I mean, every time the public saw what was happening in Manhattan, Trump went up in the polls. And I think Merchan knew that he could very well have proved the catalyst to reelect the president. This president has been fairly hostile towards Trump in all of his rulings. I was in that courtroom, and I was shocked by many of his rulings, which in my view were manifestly wrong. And also this sudden epiphany that we're in an election seems rather belated. You know, this is the same judge who refused to curtail his, in my view, unconstitutional gag order, kept the president in that courtroom during the campaign and never indicated any concern over the fact that this was in the middle of a campaign.
Yeah, so by process of elimination, Professor, that's why I keep coming back to this. Like, he didn't care about true precedent or legal justification. He didn't care about the impact on an election when he thought it might help to the point of the gag order. The only thing that's changed now is I think he cared that it might help Donald Trump, actually, if he had sentenced him. Another political case, another case that touches on politics is Hunter Biden. And so now Hunter Biden has pled guilty to filing false tax returns. 2 counts, we can put up on the screen here, of felony tax evasion, 1 count of felony failure to pay, 4 counts of a misdemeanor failure to file, 2 counts of a misdemeanor. Now, Joe Biden asked recently, by the way, Karine Jean-Pierre doubled down, tripled down, that there will be no pardon for Hunter Biden. Do you believe that?
Well, you know, it was almost 2 years ago, I wrote a column saying that I thought there was a real chance that Joe Biden could withdraw from running for re-election and pardon his son on the way out and accept that this was the misuse of that pardon authority. That is still a real chance. By setting the calendar as it has been, This puts the decision right in the sweet spot for the Hunter Biden team, where they would want this decision to be made after the election, with weeks before the inauguration. That's when we've seen the greatest abuse of the pardon power occur. That's when Bill Clinton waited to the very last day to pardon his brother, which was just a manifestly improper act in the use of his authority. But it was a legal act. This is not, there's not a restriction on the pardon authority in this sense. So I think that the Hunter Biden team is probably hoping that this is still a real possibility. Also, if the judge hands down a particularly harsh sentence, it's going to increase the pressure on Joe Biden to reverse his promise. Remember, this is the one who said that the Lord Almighty would have to tell him to leave the race, and then he left the race.
Right. So how much stock do we put in that him saying he won't pardon Hunter Biden? By the way, on the sentencing, to your point, just as an interesting note, sentencing date is currently set at December 16th for Hunter Biden, leaving that 1 month window, 3-week window for a pardon right there.
Okay, so y'all heard it. So Biden lied. Biden flat out lied, okay? Dan says, Queen, did you see TD Jake's response to the health scare? No, but I'll get into that in a moment. Okay, thank you for your insight and your question, and also for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, so now let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, because at the end of the day, I'm sorry. Biden knew he was going to pardon his son. He knew darn well that's what he was going to do. He just sat up there and told that lie just to be telling it, as far as I'm concerned. Now I'm going to go to this other report. Lights up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, Kyla said, yes, he did. Exactly. He knew what he was up to.
His son Hunter, following convictions on tax and gun charges. This is an announcement that wipes the slate clean and ensures that Hunter Biden will not be incarcerated as he prepares for sentencing. What's really notable here is this is an action that the White House had repeatedly said over the course of many weeks that the president did not intend to take. However, in a statement that he has issued, President Biden has said that in looking at the facts of the case, he had concluded that Hunter Biden was singled out in, quote, a miscarriage of justice, and was prosecuted because he was the president's son. So he has determined that the cases were unfair and that Hunter Biden deserved credit for having turned his life around in the year since the conduct occurred. And so it's really notable that he's taking this action now to really help his son, benefit his son, and undo 2 separate criminal cases that have really shattered his son for the last several years. In this case, the pardons came not only in the final weeks of President Biden's tenure, but also in the days before Hunter Biden was to be sentenced. You'll remember he was convicted in a gun case in Delaware and pleaded guilty in a separate tax case in California. He was set to learn his fate, and prosecutors were set to, try to seek to have a sentence imposed on him. So this pardon really averts that punishment, ensures that he won't be faced with an incarceration. The pardon does seem designed to preempt that next step in the criminal process. But it is also the case that it is not the first time that a president has deployed his pardon power to benefit those around him. You'll remember, of course, that in December 2020, then President Donald Trump pardoned the father of his son-in-law. So he pardoned Charles Kushner, whose son Jared is married to Trump's daughter Ivanka, and that raised attention. He also pardoned multiple close allies who were convicted in Special Counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. So there is a precedent for presidents taking pardon power to benefit, family members, people close to them. But there's no question that in doing this, President Biden is probably setting himself up for questions in the days ahead.
Okay, and the bottom line is Joe Mo said, who cares if he pardons his son? I'd pardon mine. Well, I'm sure most people would pardon theirs. The bottom line is not that he just did it. It's the fact that he lied about it. Okay, what part of that conversation did you miss, beloved? I specifically said he lied about it. So that's the thing. If he knew he was going to do it all along, which of course he knew, okay, why did he bother to lie? That's the thing. And also, here's the thing. Hunter needs to spend some time in jail, in my opinion. That he needs to learn his lesson. Hunter, 5 years clean, Joe, really? Is that what we're supposed to believe? Because I don't. Because let's not forget, it was just maybe a year or two ago that that baggie was found in the White House with the nose candy in it. Whose was it? Was it Joe's? Was it Jill's? Was it Kamala's? Or was it Hunter's? I'm sorry, if we all had to guess and put our lives on the line, who would we guess? We'd all say Hunter. Okay, so please sit down somewhere. At the end of the day, I don't think that Hunter's 5 years clean. And another thing is, as I said, sometimes the way to help a person is to make them suffer consequences. It's called tough love. When you see someone who's been spoiled and privileged their entire life, fed with a silver spoon, and they're out here doing these sorts of things, I mean, being a whole crackhead like somebody off the streets, but you're the president's son, your father's been in politics for over 40 years, and this is what you do and how you turn out. Well, at some point, he needs consequences. But that's all I'm saying. And don't be surprised if a couple of years from now, maybe not even that long, we all find out that Hunter's strung out somewhere still on crack. Because that's exactly what I expect to hear. That's exactly what I expect to hear. See, some people abuse their privilege, okay? And they think that, oh, I'm just going to let you get away with this. You know, you're not going to have any consequences, but we'll just, you know, let you go on about your business. I'll just coddle you and hold you with kitten gloves and make sure all your problems go away and then make you the victim. That's the worst thing you can do for your child, as far as I'm concerned. To sit there and let them be the victim and blame everybody else. Oh, they just did this to get back at me. And this was so undeserved. First of all, it's the whole statement for me trying to make Hunter sound forlorn, okay, trying to make him sound like he's such a victim and that people are just political opponents coming after him because of Biden. No, he committed whole crimes of which he was convicted of. Okay, so let's not act like he's some man who was innocent and then they're trying to do this to him just because that's what came from the tone of that statement. That's what came from the tone of that statement, as far as I'm concerned. And Joe Biden can sit down somewhere because he didn't have any of the empathy and sympathy for the people that were incarcerated, okay, due to the crime bill that he, in fact, authored. All right, he didn't have any empathy and sympathy for them. All right, he bragged about it. Okay, if you get caught with this much crack, even if it's the size of a quarter, you're going to be doing 5 years and all this and that. Well, his son never did 1 year, never did 1 month. And at the end of the day, his son also lied at one point and blamed it on some South Africans. Yeah, blame it on the black people. That's what they always do, right? Blame it on the black people. When he got caught smoking crack in a cigarette, he said that, oh, I went and asked them for a cigarette and they gave me cigarettes with crack in it. What are the chances that someone that you just randomly asked for a cigarette would literally give you cigarettes with crack in it when you're a whole crackhead? Yeah, please, okay? That's all I'm saying, okay? That's all I'm saying. Plenty of people would pardon their own son or their own daughter, of course. There's plenty of people who would do that. But what are you lying about it for? And how come you've never tried to get your son or have him have any types of consequences for the things that he does? That's why he's been problematic. And let's not forget that nefarious laptop that they tried to make us all think was just conspiracy theory. Let's not forget the laptop and what was alleged to have been on it. So I'm sorry you have sympathy for Hunter Biden, because I don't. None whatsoever. Okay, I have sympathy for the alleged people that were on footage on that laptop. All right. Well, with that all being said, Just Biz said, stop begging for cigarettes. Honey, he probably wasn't even begging for cigarettes. That's just a lie he told when he tested positive for the crack, okay? And that's why he was discharged from the military. Now, with that all being said, Dan asked me about T.D. Jakes. After a health scare during a sermon on Sunday, this came out 3 days ago, Bishop T.D. Jakes provided an update via a social media post. In his post, Jakes clarified that he did not suffer a stroke, though he acknowledged that the situation could have been life-threatening without prompt medical attention. Okay, so he said it wasn't a stroke at the end of the day. Hold on. Hold on. Let's go to the news report real quick. Lights up. Everyone, please like and share. And then I'm out of here. Biden needs to go get that darn room that I reserved for him like 2 years ago at Shady Pines. And I told you I paid for the first 12 months and I got him a nice seat, okay, right near the window so he can watch the flowers bloom and the grass grow. Okay, how many times do I have to tell y'all? Biden should have been left office, honey, and retired to Shady Pines.
Dallas megachurch pastor T.D. Jakes says he needed emergency surgery after he fell ill during his sermon last weekend. Good evening, I'm Blake Hansen. For the first time since that health scare, Jakes spoke at length about what happened, talking remotely with his congregation today. He described what happened as a miracle. Fox 4's Amelia Jones joining us live with that update. Amelia?
Blake, Bishop T.D. Jakes didn't say exactly what caused the medical emergency last week, just that he was taken to the ICU and underwent surgery. He told the Potter's House congregation this morning that doctors want him to take it easy, but that he's in good spirits and in no pain.
I told you last Sunday that I'd see you this Sunday.
In his own words.
And so here I am.
Bishop T.D. Jakes shared what happened last week after he suffered a health incident on stage.
Many of you don't realize that you're looking at a miracle. I faced a life-threatening calamity, was rushed to the ICU unit. I had emergency surgery, survived this surgery.
Last Sunday, as Jakes was wrapping up his sermon, the live stream of the service captured Jakes lowering his microphone and shaking on stage. We're not showing the incident, but people immediately surrounded him on stage.
I looked around and everybody was around me. I was annoyed because I didn't know why they were around me.
Jakes didn't share what doctors believe caused the incident. He just said that doctors advised him to take it easy for the next few weeks.
Sometimes those of us who are busy taking care of other people neglect ourselves, and that's very true.
Jakes founded the Potter's House in 1996. The non-denominational church has grown to 30,000 members, with many tuning in every week online. After the incident, there was an outpouring of love and support across the country for the renowned Christian leader.
I can feel your support and your love, and it was obvious Sunday that you went through it with me.
Which is why he wanted to address the Potter's House congregation on Sunday to let everyone know he's on the mend.
I need you to help me to praise God that we're not planning a funeral. I need you to help me to praise God that we are here celebrating.
And he's grateful for the continuous prayers for a full recovery.
But I'm in good spirits. I feel good. I'm in no pain. I'm in peace and tranquility. And I want you to know that I can feel your prayers.
Jakes didn't share a time frame for when he would return to preaching in person. After he spoke this morning, his daughter led the congregation in a prayer for her father's recovery. Blake, back to you.
All right, Amelia, thanks.
All right, so I hope that satisfied you all's curiosity, okay? He says that he's a miracle, in fact. Okay, please pay attention. Now, some of y'all sitting there, y'all going straight to hell, sitting there saying that man's faking. Okay, and then y'all talk about he's worried about Diddy and all that stuff. He probably is worried about that. TC Dan said that prayer was dramatic. Was it really? I absolutely cannot. Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick. Y'all know if I play it, I'm gonna have to put an overlay because, honey, TD Jakes is striking channels out here in these YouTube streets. Please pay attention. Hold on, just give me a second. While I'm looking for it, let's have a word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes again.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Every Christian should be.
I need you to help me. I need you to help me to praise God.
Hold on, guys.
I know. I really need you to celebrate. I need you to help me. I know. I really need you to help me praise God. You don't understand what I thought. I really need you to help me to praise God that faith is the victory today. Physically, I can't praise Him like I want to, but somebody that's got the strength and the dexterity and the nimbleness, just give Him the glory for me and lift Him up and give him a shout of praise and enthusiasm and take care of yourself. I love you. Peace out.
No, peace out. I must not have gotten to the right one, Dan, honey. Sorry, that's all I could find with time constraints. Now, with that all been said, y'all heard what TD said. Y'all need to be out here praying, okay? Out here, all you heathens specifically. Leon Gardner said he needs help. Or you can send tithes, okay? Pray or send tithes, all right? That's how it goes. Now, with that all being said, Mr. Elevation said 12 Tribes doesn't work on Drake and Kabami. You are something else. Okay. The Big Steel said, I wonder what he swallowed. Anyway, listen, I'm out of here. You all are absolutely nefarious, okay? That guy McFly said, I can't take coworkers seriously after a scandal. How could I handle how could I handle the pastor? I just said people actually swallow this bull-ish. Yeah, they do. Okay. With that all being said, listen, I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. And if y'all are still eating on that same old Thanksgiving food from Thursday, you need to sit down somewhere, okay? Because the rules are in the Black community that you should only eat that stuff for 3 days past. Okay. Didn't Plies tell y'all a few years ago? Now, if y'all still munching on it as of today and tomorrow, you're going to be sick. Okay. You're going to get sick. I'm trying to warn you. Those are your lifelines. Pay attention. Okay. So listen, for those of you who follow the spiritual channel, okay. For those of you who follow the spiritual channel, I'm going to be on there today. It is 10 o'clock. I'm going to be on there today at 12:30. 12:30. But here's the thing. This is going to be for members only. So I think I'm going to turn the spiritual channel into a members only channel. Okay. So people won't be up there stealing my content and all that. Okay. Yeah, we all know who I'm talking about. Okay. And copying the queen. So with that all been said, members only live today at 12:30. Don't miss it. Don't be late. Okay. Something very interesting we're going to be talking about. And as I told you all a couple of weeks ago, we've got some interviews for some people that you want to hear from coming on that channel real soon. Okay. So I will be sending out the links once I post it to those of you whose emails that I have. All right. So that's going to be at about 12:30. Okay. So each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
With that flavor all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And now I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got